8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Mariah Lee and Taryn Lewis. And today we're joined by a very special guest, GinaReppinDaBay. What's up, girl? Thank you for joining us. How you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
awesome.
Yay, go Niners.
That's right.
Yes. So what's up, chat? What's up, everybody? We're back from vacation, from staycation. I was kind of nervous for today's show. Like it's been like what, over a week since we've done a show, and I'm like getting ready, and I'm like, shit, can I do this? Do I remember how to do this? but you know, just like riding a bike, here we are.
There you go.
True enough.
So before we get into everything, well, let's say what's up to chat real quick, and then we'll get into something before we get into 49ers chat, which is the Warriors, since we have two Warrior fans here. And you know, we'll have to talk about that for a minute. But let's say what's up to the chat real quick. 49ers throwback, Fernando. What's up,
Fernando?
Appreciate you, my guy, as always. David, what's up?
What's up, David?
Tanya says, what's up, Niner faithful, except
What's up,
for y'all
sis?
Laker fans. Just playing.
Yeah. Here.
JDLR, what's up?
What's
Hope
up?
everybody's doing great today on this Saturday afternoon. It's been a while since we've done a Saturday show.
I'm hungover off the loss.
Oh, yes. So let's get into that. Obviously, we know the Warriors lost to the Lakers last night, which means the Warriors were in a lose and go home situation. So their asses went home. I'll give my kind of how I'm feeling, how I kind of felt last night about it. And then, you know, I'll let you kind of talk, Gina, and then we'll get TL's thoughts from being an outsider, how he sees it. I don't know. This one, it doesn't hurt as much as other losses have. And I think that's just because this whole season has just fell off to me from the very beginning, from the punch on.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think from that leaked video and just seeing that, and it kind of just felt like, okay, this isn't right. Like, you know, that shit, whether people want to say, oh, that happens on other teams, we just don't see it. Well, that's right. We don't see it, you know, and whether it happens or it doesn't happen, we don't know about it. So we don't know if it really happens or not, you know, but the fact is we do know that it happened. We do know that it was a vet, somebody that, you know, is looked up in high regards, that, you know, punch somebody that is growing, somebody that's, you know, supposed to be our fifth man, somebody that's, you know, looking up to this guy. And once that happened, I just feel like it kind of just like shifted something. Now, whether that really did have an effect on things, who knows? We're not in the locker room, right? But I feel like if I were in the locker room that it would. You know, like, how do you feel like that you can trust somebody for, like, you know, like if you're Jordan and you get punched by Draymond, how do you feel like you can go to him for something like later on in the season? How do you feel like you then look at him as a brother later on in the season? Like, it just like, I don't feel like, and we've seen that. Like, we've seen Jordan like shrug him off, like going towards the bench, like wouldn't want to talk to Draymond. And like, you could see they had some kind of disconnect. And then I had talked about before, like, there were times like I used to watch the Warriors and you would see like their passing was something that was just like a thing of beauty, because like they would know, like even Steph and Green, you know, like they would pass to one another, and it would be like they would know where the other one was going to be before the other one was even there, you know, like, and I compared it to like a marriage or something, like, you know, like finishing the other one's sentences, you know, and it's like they had just such a connection on the court. And and even with Clay as well, you know, and it's just like that wasn't there. And maybe that was a thing why the turnovers were so high this season, because they're just passing to who knows fucking where, because the other guy's not there. They're passing to the other team, right? Like, they just like something just fell off, you know, and like everybody wants to, you know, blame Kerr and blame this and blame that. And we could sit here all day and point the blame game, you know, but I
Yeah.
just feel like from the jump, something just fell off from this season. So I feel like I just was already set up that we weren't going to win the championship anyways. Like if we did, great, you know, like it would be an extra excitement because I wasn't expecting it, right? But since it didn't happen, it's like, yeah, I was bummed because of course, you know, like you want to win every season, you want to win every year. That's the whole point of playing. But it wasn't like that big of a heartache as it usually would be. And maybe that has to do with because we just won last year as well, you know, so it's not like, oh, we haven't won in 30 years, you know, so but yeah, I think a lot of changes need to happen. I don't think you don't just roll into next season with this same squad with this fucking mess. We know that Draymond is in a, you know, situation with his contract. I don't know, you know, whether they pay him and keep him, whether they get rid of Poole. Some changes need to happen, you know. The GM situation, what's going to happen there? That's, you know, that's scary. So yeah, changes need to happen. We'll see, because I would hate to see Steph's last few years that we have of him get wasted. So they really need to go all in and, you know, build around him these last few years that we have him. Don't fucking waste him. Yeah, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, you touched on a lot of things. I like your analogy about, like, you know, marriage. And I noticed too, and hey, what's up, John V? The passing and the turnovers. And then I noticed Clay, like a lot of times he wouldn't be in the right spots. And so he did make a point, like this was his full season back after the double injuries. So we have to take that into account as well. So, you know, he did do a lot. What was it, in like March or something? He had like the best month of his career, or in years or something like that. I don't know the stats, but he did put on quite a show in, you know, this season. And then, you know, probably fatigue or, you know, whatever. He just couldn't perform in the playoffs. What you said about Jordan Poole and the whole effect, I think a lot of us fans didn't want to accept the fact that that punch had a lot to do with, you know, how we performed this year, possibly on the road. There was a disconnect, obviously. You go 0-5 on the road, like to start off the season, like what the fuck is that? You know, that was like sort of a what's the word, not premonition, but like a preface or whatever to how the season was going to go. And if you can't win against a healthy LeBron AD team in the second round, like in LA, my son likes to call the biggest lights on stage. I said, isn't that Madison Square Garden? He's like, well, the Knicks are out of it. I was like, okay, you have a point. You know, he's 14. I'm like, all right, fine. You're right, I guess. But you can't win in LA and I still call it Staples. Then yeah, that just goes to show you, yes, we won in SAC against a younger team. We pulled it together, and I think Tanya said she what was the thing she said about she had us. Let me scroll back.
I never had us out of the first round, she said.
Yes. So that was a huge feat, right? And it was scary. It was scary because we never were down like that, 0-2. So, you know, and then we still don't know who leaked that fucking video.
Yeah.
I think someone knows. They just didn't make it public. There were a lot of conspiracies that it was done on purpose to get rid of Draymond. You know, who knows?
I mean, how could you not know who leaked it? There's only so many people who have that
on that court, right?
Yes.
And did they get fired? How come that information wasn't leaked?
And then Draymond talked about it recently and was like, oh, if I wanted to have it investigated further, I could have, but you know, it wasn't that important of a thing. And it was like, oh, really? Like, why wouldn't it have been?
Right. And yeah, then Jordan Poole and Draymond lockers are right next to each other. So how's that for being uncomfortable through the whole season, you know? So if you don't have that camaraderie on the road, and Jordan Poole, I also heard another conspiracy theory that Jordan Poole was like, oh yeah, well, you knocked me out. Like, let's see how I perform this season, you know, like kind of fucked up on purpose. I mean, that's really hardcore, you know, to do that to your teammates. And maybe he wants to be traded. Who knows? But how much value does he have? And hey, Ishi, she's on there too. That's my partner in crime. So yeah, I mean, you don't know. And shout out Mariah and Gina are true fans. That's right. That's what's up. Nothing but Niners. And Bryant, what's up? Yeah, I mean, there's just so much that went wrong, and we aren't a championship team. I mean, you can't go into the season the way we did. And I always say you got to beat the best to be the best. And we were playing like shit. We weren't the best.
Nope.
As hard as it is to say, we were outplayed. The games we did win, we played better than them, but we did not win 4 games. They did.
Yeah. The Warriors. Gotta
What's up,
love
Peachy?
them. So from a fan outside looking in, I'm like Mike. I'm probably have one of the most teams that are, you know, I'll take that back. I'll see a championship in my lifetime because we're getting better. Because I know Mike's a Hornets fan. I like the Orlando Magic. So our teams right now aren't that good. But I watch a lot of basketball. Outside looking in, first and foremost, let me get to the comments with Steve-O Supremo. Klay Thompson is not Russell Westbrook. Stop.
What's up,
it.
Steve-O?
That's a foolish comment, first and foremost.
He always be coming up with something.
Yeah, that's a foolish comment, first and foremost. 2, going back to that video, I mean, you know, the angle that video was taken, it was someone that was sitting like towards the stands. So you can pinpoint who was in that section
like
when that fight went on.
Intern,
yeah, something like that. And me, who's somebody who's played sports since I was 8 years old, there's always some fist fights in the locker room, always. But nobody's taking videos. We're just trying to separate it. Hey, you know what? We're all a team here. This and that. For somebody to leak that is soft. Like, you don't do that. That shows a weakness in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
So going into the playoffs, you know, I was talking to a guy on Twitter, Wally. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He was like, Wally Spit. He was like,
yeah.
He saw TL, let's bet $100 that the Warriors are going to win the championship again. I was like, wait a minute. I go, we can bet $100 if you want to, but you guys are 11-30 on the road. No team's going to win a championship with that kind of record on the road. It just doesn't all of a sudden translate into the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry, like it's gonna catch up with you.
Although I was still saying, we believe.
Yeah, but from the outside looking in, you know, you and Mariah are correct. Like when you guys beat the Kings, it was a more inexperienced team that were young. Your first time in the playoffs in 16 years, didn't have the chemistry. Like, so the Warriors are just a better team. But I felt like maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. It kind of seemed like age took a factor in this as well. Like, you know, the Lakers are just a younger team. I feel like, you know, with Curry over 30, Klay over 30, Draymond, like I feel like age was getting to them. And I feel like Steve Kerr probably didn't play the younger guys enough to spell.
Oh, absolutely.
To spell. Like Jonathan Kuminga probably should get more burn. I don't agree with him saying he should be traded. Yeah, I don't agree with him saying he should be traded because I feel like his time is coming.
He wants a trade.
Yeah, but I feel like with Draymond Green, he needs to be gone, I think he's just, I'm not saying he's checked out, but for the fact that, and there's a time and place to celebrate your opponents. As soon as you lose that game, you don't go over to LeBron and have this big old smile on your face. And what does that show your teammates?
That
like
pissed
how
me
serious,
the fuck off.
Like, you know, if he wants to go on this podcast after the show a few hours later, hey, you know, I'm gonna congratulate the Lakers, LeBron and AD,
and congratulate the GOAT.
Yeah, but you don't do that right after a loss.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't do that after a loss. I'm sorry. You just don't go over there and hug him and laugh. And to me, if I'm a teammate, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Now when we go in the locker room, I'm punching you in the face because you know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't have done that. That's showing a bunch of disrespect. So yeah, this the way he's going. I think he should be gone. I think you should go with somebody a little bit younger who does similar things to Draymond.
How about Aaron Gordon?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't even like him. But
I know, but.
But
better than Dylan Brooks.
No, I see what you're saying. No, somebody like that, or like a Nas, somebody who does similar things. You don't have to be a scorer. Just go in there who can pass the ball well, who can, who has a high basketball IQ.
Mike, I was saying the same thing. It's like Jimmy G smiling and laughing after I said the same fucking thing.
Absolutely, you don't do that. You don't do that after a loss.
It's like, what the fuck are you smiling about, you dumbass?
It's a time and place for that. Like like I said, I don't mind congratulating the opponent after after they beat you, but you don't do it directly.
Do it at your mama's house.
Yeah, like I said, if he wants to do it on his podcast, that's fine. But yeah, I just think they just need to. I think the young bucks need to get more playing time. Moody needs to be more playing time. He shows that he can play.
Oh, he's so good.
And just with Kuminga, I get that you get the defense. The defense is going to lack with Kuminga on the court with Draymond, but the offense is going to go up because he's a much better offensive player. And that's what you guys need. Yeah. You need that youth movement, somebody who can run up and down the court because LeBron and AD, they're the vets or whatever, but then you got a pretty young team with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So
they made had the best pieces acquisition at the trade deadline.
Yeah. Rui Hachimura's in his mid-20s. D'Angelo Russell's still young. I mean, all these guys they got, the guy who was hitting threes that came out of nowhere, that came from the Spurs. Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker.
Another one. Yeah, they got all these bunch of young guys that came in and balled, and I just think
good.
He's doing his thing too. So yeah, it's just, and he's only 24 years old. So yeah, it's tough for the Warriors. I just think I don't think their dynasty is over. I think if they just get a couple more peaks, as long as you have Steph Curry on your team, you have a chance, and that's what anybody who has in the top 5.
You know what? Me and my brother were saying. Well, me and two of my brothers, we were like, "Fuck it, let's trade Jordan Poole and Kuminga and get KD back."
And see, the thing with Poole, he signed a 4-year, $100 million contract. The way he played all year and the playoffs, who's going to want that contract? And
I know.
His contract goes up every year. I think his 4th year, he's making $30 million. So nobody's
going to even make all team.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to.
He doesn't have any value right now anyway.
Yeah, nobody's going to trade for that right now. So, yeah, I think, like I said, I don't think the Warriors are out of it. As long as you have Steph Curry, and you're always going to have a chance. You just need to have. I feel like to get more youth, get your youth some playing time with Kuminga, the Moody, stuff like that. They're two lottery picks that have been sitting on the bench for 2 years. It's time to play these guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. But respect to the Warriors. I'm always going to have, some love for the Warriors because I remember back in the day, I love me some Latrell Sprewell. I like Chris Mullin, back in the day when the Warriors weren't Baron Davises, the Baron Davises of the world. So yeah, I'm always. I mean, they're not my team, but I'm always going to respect them because that's my dad's team. My dad's a Golden State. My dad's from Hunters Point, so he's diehard. Yeah, he's diehard Golden State Warriors. So I'm gonna always have some love for them. But yeah, so
that's Nate Burleson. He's from Hunters Point.
Is he?
Yeah,
and he's on the Niners every chance he gets.
His dad is a diehard Niners fan, and he was rocking when we were in the Super Bowl. He was rocking a Jerry Rice jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so those are my thoughts about the game. So
yeah. Oh, I hear you.
So yeah, better luck next season. We'll see what kind of moves they make. It's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah.
See. I mean, is it time to break up the big 3? I don't know. I don't
know if Steph will want to.
The things you're saying about Draymond, though, and I know that you brought this up, Gina, on Twitter, and I had said something about it too, is that Draymond just fell off this entire series. We didn't even see the Draymond because he's not giving it his all because he's there playing against his BFF, and it's well, is he just playing soft because he wants freaking Braun to fucking win? Is he playing soft because, that's his best
That's his
friend on
goat.
the other side. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
he's so like he loves like LeBron so much that he'd rather LeBron win than himself, you know? And it's just
Mhm.
like that's fucking sad. And you
Yeah.
can see like people hate this guy because he's such a shit talker. He's in everybody's face. He's in like the kind of guy that Draymond is, and you didn't see that at all this freaking series. At all. Like
Yeah.
he was a completely different player. The
Yep.
only time we saw Draymond even be Draymond is when his old coach or somebody was at the game.
Yeah.
The last game at Golden State when he freaking put up 20 points and
Yeah. And then one time it's for the sack series, I think he had a 20-point game. So he had like 2 20-point games. Like
so
that's
it's like
it.
he can turn it on. Like he's like, oh, I wanted to do that because blah 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 is in the stands, and I wanted to show him how much he means to me. It's like, so why don't you do that every night? Like, shouldn't you be going out there and playing like that every night if that's how you know that you can play, if that's how you know you should be playing, if that's what you know you're capable of doing? Like you can just turn it on and turn it off. So you're telling me the rest of the games of this series, you just decided, oh, well, there's nobody in the stands for me to impress, so I'm just going to turn it off. Like,
right. It's bullshit.
And that's what pisses me off. Me as a player, I can respect you if you have a bad series, if you're out there balling, like trying to play your heart up. I see you hustling, diving for loose balls, playing great defense. Because let's be real, your offense isn't always going to be there, but
Right.
the effort should be. So I don't care if you everybody's saying, "Oh, Jordan Poole had a bad series." Yeah, he did. But if you can, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know his body language like you Warriors fans do. But if you can tell he was out there really trying and doing his thing, I can respect that at least, even though it wasn't great. But at least I know you gave it your all. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just out there, oh, I can put 20 points on the board if I want to. If certain person is in the stands, like that to me is weak. Do that because to me, what are you telling your team?
Exactly.
Like,
you're supposed to be one of the vets, a fucking leader, the guy that people look up to, and you're doing
Randy Moss. It's the Randy Moss effect. I play when I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
he needs to be gone.
like his leadership. It's like, and then you're sitting in a presser telling this. Oh yeah, I did that because so and so is in the stands and blah blah blah. So all the younger guys are hearing it that you're so Draymond can do this. Oh, so Draymond knows what he's capable of, like, oh, so this is what we're supposed to do. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What up, Rod?
Let's get into some 49ers talk. Let's say what's up to the chat real quick. Rod, what's up?
Going
Peachy,
on?
good to see you. Congrats to your Lakers. Steve-O, what up? Jim. Mike, what up? What up?
Wait, is Jim the Rams fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boo.
Jim Everett.
Your Rams are trash.
Tanya says right here.
Man. Yeah. And Tanya, her family's from Harbor Road and
in Hunters Point.
Yeah. HP.
John B,
Straight
what
hood.
up?
Rod, I still love you even though your fucking Lakers are
oh yeah, congrats, Ron.
I'm not gonna say. No.
I was watching his video from the other night when he was spitting all over, and I'm like, man.
You mean on my podcast? No, just playing. I mean hour. Sorry, it's not mine. It's ours.
Like,
oh, we have a new name. Sports Laugh and Chill Show.
Yep.
Okay.
I saw that.
Yeah, we're in the process of getting a new logo.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Not my 5-minute logo that I came up with in December. I was like, gotta put something up real quick. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, Peachy, real quick. That's what pisses me off the most is like, because I just feel like it's just this, it's the Golden State freaking Steph Curry's, like it's just Steph out there giving it his all. Like he gets to the freaking pressers and he's like has scratches on his arms, he's bleeding everywhere, like freaking black eyes, like limping up there, he freaking gave everything he possibly could. Well, the rest of the guys are there hee-heeing, freaking chopping it up, laughing, freaking, freaking doing cartwheels on the fucking floor. And it's just like a fucking circus act for the rest of them, and it's just like, it's so unfortunate that you have one guy doing everything he fucking possibly can. And the other ones are deciding whether or not they're even going to show up, It's like,
yeah. And I was never really like complaining about the refs. I think one time I sent a tweet that was like, I wonder why, about the disparity of the fouls. Like because we do drive to the basket. It's just obviously not, we don't have bigs, so we're not like AD and LeBron, but the huge disparity is like literally half, and so why are we gonna, drive as much to the basket if we're not even gonna get calls? We don't get many calls, period. So, and then of course you got AD making blocks. So, I mean,
that's what we need to get is a freaking big, like, good Lord, please. I'm begging.
But I don't like, what? Also, I don't like blaming refs. Remember Kittle said, you don't want to leave it in the hands of refs if you play well enough.
Yep.
So just don't do it.
Yep. I agree. All right, let's get into some 49ers talk.
It's been a while for me, so let's do it.
All right, so I figure since the schedule was just recently released that we'll go through the schedule and we'll do an early schedule prediction. We'll go through together and decide whether we think we're going to win or lose those games. So let's start off week 1, and then let me write it down so I can keep track real quick. All right, so week 1, the 49ers at the Steelers. It's a 10 a.m. game. Do we think that we are going to win or lose against the Steelers on the road, week 1?
Go ahead, Gina. I'll let you go first.
I have them winning.
I agree. I think winning as well.
I think we're losing.
Oh, okay. So let me
now, who's our quarterback?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's going to be Trey Lance, but I think we lose only because, like, we're heading into the season, and I know it's a different year, but track record shows we start off slow. I'm just keeping it real here. And Steve Wilkes is the first-year defensive coordinator. So how long is it going to take for the defense to actually adjust to his system? Like, how long is it going to take? Because,
it's not a whole new system. So
yeah, but remember when what's his name? DeMeco Ryans took over at first for Saleh. It took a couple games for us to get some chemistry. So I think it could happen like that too. I mean, obviously I don't hope it happens, but I just think going to week 1 with a great team with who also has a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves for their home opener to be amazing. Everybody's out there playing their hearts out. It's an early game. I just think we lose.
Okay. Week
Fair
2
enough.
On the road against the Arizona Cardinals with no quarterback. So if you think we lose that game, then I don't know. We're in trouble.
W.
I agree.
You said it's against the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the Rams. Maybe I'm tripping.
Nope.
Oh
yeah. I went the wrong direction. Sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
it is the
week
Rams,
2
right?
against the Rams. Sorry.
Oh, we're destroying that team.
I still have a W.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. W?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
It goes this way, not this way. My bad. All right. So week 3. Oh, so that's week 2 at Rams. Yeah. So week 3 versus the Giants. So that's our home opener, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We got to get a win. That's our home opener.
Yeah.
Home opener and a primetime game. It's a Thursday game. Week 3. Home opener, primetime. We beat the Giants. We're going to show Daniel Jones who he really is.
Thursday night football. We do better on a Thursday night than we do on Sundays and Mondays.
Yeah, I think we beat the brakes off the Giants for some reason.
All right, so week 4 is against the Cardinals at home.
We're going. I say we're going like what? Let me see the schedule.
I'm gonna put a W against the Cardinals because, like I said, they don't even have a quarterback.
We're getting that W. It's a first.
Yep.
It's a first-year coach. No quarterback.
6-0.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we get that W right there. I think
Vikings are going to be a little tough. No, wait, 7-0. My bad. We're going 7-0 until our because Bengals are going to be tough.
Yeah.
All right, so week 5 versus the Cowboys. So obviously Gina just told us she has a W.
Mhm.
Because
I'm taking-
fuck Dallas. Always.
I got a W on that one as well. It's another home game. It's another primetime game on a
Prime
Sunday
time.
night.
Yep.
We got this. I think that puts us on a 4-game win streak right there. We start off first 5 games at 4-1.
And they said that's the first Sunday night game against the Cowboys since '98
Like
or
the
some shit.
90s, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a W as well. All right, week 6 at the Browns, the Dookie Browns. Obviously,
Deshaun.
Gina said we got to
Yep.
win.
W.
Same. I got a win on that one as well.
Me too. All right. Week 7 at the Minnesota Vikings. Do they?
I say W.
I think
They
a
don't have
W as well.
Thielen anymore, right?
Yeah.
They
They
don't have
don't have-
Thielen, and I think Dalvin Cook's a little disgruntled there as well. Like they're talking
Maybe
about
he might be
getting rid-
traded by then.
He might
Who
be
knows?
traded by then. So yeah, I got a W. I just think we every time we play the Vikings, it's always a pretty decent game, but I think that we're just way more physical than them, and we ended up punching them in the mouth. So I like a W on that
I
one.
think our defense is going to win us that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'll go with the dub as well. All right. Week 8 versus the Bengals.
Where are we playing? Home or away?
No, since
Home.
no word home.
Okay. Now, we don't know who our quarterback will be by
Right.
then. So I might say that might be our first L.
I think I'm going to put an L as well.
I got a loss on that one as well, and our quarterback's still going to be Trey Lance,
I hope so.
in my opinion.
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
Trey area, baby. Let's go.
All right. Week 9 is our bye week, which is halfway through. So we'll see how that works out for us. It's pretty early into the season for a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Week 10 off of a bye is at Jaguars.
I think another loss.
At 10 a.m., huh?
Yep.
Okay, well, 10 a.m. here, but one there. Okay. That one's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Gina, Jim Everett, you're comical, brother. We don't know who our quarterback is, and you do, and we're still a much better team than you are. That just says a lot about your Rams. But go ahead, Gina.
Yeah, that one's a trap game.
Yeah, I got an L on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have a yeah.
I mean, we're not going to win every game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that one's a trap game.
Week 5, we all have us taking a W.
We're going to dog walk the Cowboys. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's our only stretch that we lose 2 in a row, in my opinion.
So week 10, we all have an L as well. All right. So week 11 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Who's their quarterback?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. I got a dub.
Same.
Yeah.
3
Although,
dubs.
wait, we played him last year when we won. Wait, did we win or
It was
lose?
Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady last year on Tampa when we beat him.
No, but on the
No,
Rams.
on the Rams.
On the Rams, no, he came towards the end, and we didn't play him.
Okay.
I don't believe, yeah, because he went on like a win streak, I think, right? Like,
Right.
yeah,
like the last 3 or
last
4
like
of
2,
the season
yeah,
or
something like that, yeah.
Right. Okay.
We
Yeah.
swept the Rams last year.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So week 12 at the Seahawks. This is Thanksgiving.
We don't do good on holidays.
And we have Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And New Year's Eve.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay. Wait, we did good on New Year's. We squeaked by.
Squeaked by. Yep. Yep.
Seahawks.
At
Oh.
Seahawks. So Seahawks are home.
They might want revenge. And that's at 520.
I'm giving us an L this one.
Yeah.
I think we're going to split with the Seahawks. So
How many L's do we have on the list right now?
I think you guys have
Me and
3
you
and I
have
have
2.
4. You guys
No.
have 2? I have 3,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna, because we're gonna go like, yeah, put me down for an L. We're beating the Eagles though.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a L on this one as well. I mean, we swept them last year, but playing them at their home, I just think that's gonna be tough. I take a L right there.
Yeah, I think we split this year with them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're getting better as well. It's not like they're getting worse, or
Yeah.
If their draft picks hit, even 2 or 3 of them, they're in a good position.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like 14-3, which I said last year, but that didn't turn out right. I'm with you, Bryant. I am, but I have to be like realistic.
Yeah. Because there's going to be some games that we're supposed to win that we lose and
Yep.
stuff like that. It's just it happens every year to every team. So
yeah.
All right, week 13 at the Eagles, revenge game on
Revenge
my
game.
birthday.
Oh, we're winning.
I got that dub on that one.
I had
Let's
W's
go. Fuck Philly.
Yeah.
My brother's going to that game too for revenge because they were hardcore, super like assholes to him.
Mm-hmm. They were week 14 versus the Seahawks again. So we got Seahawks, then Philly,
home
then
game.
Seahawks.
We got it.
We got this one.
Yep.
That's a dub.
W. Week 15 is at the Cardinals.
That's another dub.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're
got
sweeping
it.
them.
Yeah.
Peachy will be at the which game? Peachy?
She's probably gonna go to the Steelers game. I think she's pretty close to that. Pretty close
she
to.
just said that towards the end. So.
I'm going to the Cleveland game.
She just now said that. That's way
I'll be there
after.
Philly. Okay, I'm going to Cleveland. I'm going to meet up with some 49er fans.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Week 16, Christmas versus the Ravens. Home game.
I don't think we lose 2 holiday games.
Yeah.
I think we're getting that W at home on Christmas.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mark Jackson could be injured by then.
I think it'll be. I think it'll be low. You're probably right.
That's a W. Yeah. Peach, you're going to Cleveland? I'll see you there.
I think it'll be a close. I think it'll be a tight game. It'll be close, and I think it'll probably be a low scoring.
It might come down to Money Moody.
It might, yeah. It'll be like something like 21-17 or something like that. It's not going to be like no offensive juggernaut performance.
Yep. Yeah, right. David, you're right. Philly's fucked up. I mean, not all Philly fans, because I'm good, like friendly with one of the podcasters that actually 3 Philly fans I'm really, good friends with. They're the exception.
Week 17, New Year's Eve at the Commanders.
Who's their quarterback? There's been so many changes.
What's his name? Sam Howell.
Oh yeah. Where did Taylor Heineke go? Did he leave?
He's a backup somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a W on that one anyway. Regardless.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's what I was like, who? Yeah, W.
Week 18 to be determined for whatever reason versus the Rams to end the season.
W.
That's a W.
W. With their one-armed quarterback and a bunch of guys. So TL has us 1, 2, 3 losing 4 games. And Gina and I have us losing 3 games.
Wait, so I did the same thing as I did last year.
Did you?
Oh well, I guess some things never change.
So 15-3 and 14
Oh
and
God.
4.
I got 13-4. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I
Brian,
usually go like, before in the past 13-3, but now it's 14-3.
Mhm. Brian said that he thinks the Commanders could be a trap game.
It
I don't.
could be.
I think week 18 though. It depends on what the season looks like. Like if we're just 2-3 games ahead in the NFC, it could be one of those games where we're just like, whatever. But I feel like our trap game is that Jacksonville game.
Yeah.
I think because we're coming off a bye, we're going to Jacksonville. It's an early game. I just don't like it kind of has that Atlanta Falcons feel to it from last year.
Yeah, fuck Grant Cohn.
So let's get into some things that were said about Trey Lance recently.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked about how Rappaport had been reporting that Sam Darnold was going to open up the season as the starting quarterback. He kept putting out video, tweet after tweet after tweet, just mentioning Sam Darnold as the 49ers quarterback with no mention of Trey Lance. Like Trey Lance wasn't even on the team. And this was before the draft, right? And we know that all the rumors were circulating about, Trey Lance going to get traded at the draft, and so all of a sudden, Rappaport comes out and is talking and says that he was contacted by people in the 49ers organization and pretty much was told to shut the fuck up because what he was saying wasn't true. So I thought that was pretty interesting that one, for them to actually contact him and say something, and two, for him to actually say that they contacted him and said something. So yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting. And good for the 49ers. And then the last couple of days, the 49ers, I can't remember what that thing was where Kyle was talking. I don't know what the hell that state of the whatever franchise or something.
Franchise stuff, yeah.
Yeah, something 49ers talk or some shit. But Kyle was talking about Trey and said that Trey has looked the best that he has looked since being with the 49ers.
Yeah.
He talked about how that finger injury like really set him back because when it healed incorrectly. And and Trey talked about this too, how he pretty much had to redo his throwing motion to learn how to throw again so that he could hold the ball because his finger, like he couldn't grip with that finger because it didn't heal right. And Kyle touched on that and said that pretty much all last offseason Trey spent learning how to rethrow with that messed up finger. So he didn't get to spend time on his mechanics, spend time on his base, spend time on his throwing motion, spend time on whatever the hell it is that he needs to spend time on, right? Because literally all his time went into that and rehabbing from the injury. And so Kyle talked about, even though Trey was coming back from, the broken ankle, whatever, this year, that he had this whole off season now that he's got to spend time on his mechanics, he said his base is in such his mechanics, the bottom half of his body, his legs, everything is in such great spot that he's seen from him. And and he said that he looks the best that he's seen from him. So I think these people that think Trey's just going to go in there and lay down, and that there's not going to be a fucking competition. I think you're in for a rude awakening because this kid sounds like he showed up and he showed up ready. So, yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on the whole Rappaport walking back his dumbness and, what Kyle had to say?
Hey, Miss Debbie.
Hey, Miss Deb.
Hey, Miss Deb. Go ahead, Gina.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that to me, the 49ers responding to them, that to me just shows that um how, how do I put this into words? I mean, who somebody's creating this rumor or whatever, just reporting. I mean, is it like an intern? These interns, like, who is saying this stuff? Um, it just, to me, it just sounds so made up. I don't know. People want Sam Darnold to be the quarterback so bad. I don't know. I hate to bring race into the issue, but it just, I don't know. Just to me, it sounds like they just want Trey gone. They just don't want him to succeed. They just don't want to see. I don't know, but ever since he ever since, like, it wasn't Mac Jones, like, I don't know, but everybody was shocked that it wasn't Mac Jones because everybody wanted to report Mac Jones. That's who they got that information,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, I don't know, it just seems to me that everybody's trying to get the right story, and the 49ers are like, shut the fuck up. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Before I answer all this quarterback stuff, so to answer Mike real quick, as far as the traveling, we have from October 15th to October 29th, we have 3 games in the Midwest. I truly believe that on 2 of them games, we'll probably just stay there and find somewhere to camp out at so we don't have to do as much traveling. I'm looking at the Monday night game against the Vikings. We play them on Monday night, and then we have a quicker turnaround because we don't have a full week, and we play on Sunday against Cincinnati. Well, actually, hold on. I'm going to say at Cleveland and at Minnesota, we might just stay in the Midwest
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, it's back to back. We have Cleveland at 10 a.m., then a Monday night in Minnesota. That might be the week we stay back until we come home and play the Bengals. So that's what I think as far as the traveling, because we've done that in the past when our games are
Yeah.
in the same time zone, close week by week to each other. Um,
I'm sure they will stay on the road. One thing
so
real quick about the time.
uh,
I think it's crazy when I seen, that we're number 2 in the time, the distance that the team has
the
to
traveling
travel
stuff,
right behind the
yeah,
Seahawks, that you
yeah.
have teams that are playing in different fucking countries. And the 49ers still have to travel more miles than those teams
Yeah,
do.
that's
Like,
wild. Yeah,
how does that happen?
yeah, like
Easy.
Jacksonville. Yeah, like Jacksonville playing in London twice. So
Twice.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we have to travel
um,
more than they do.
yeah, that's pretty wild. As
Yeah.
far as the quarterback situation, I mean, I'll just go ahead and say it, Gina, because let's just keep it a buck. There's some racism out there. Let's just be real.
Especially in the
It's
NFL.
yeah. So it's a few things that I look at when it comes to the Trey Lance situation. It's the Mac Jones and the Justin Fields supporters who wanted the people who wanted Mac Jones, the people who wanted Justin Fields, and instead of now just saying, okay, you know what, it wasn't my guy, but I now have Trey on the team, so let me support him. To me, it feels like they'd rather him fail and look bad and take our team to the promised land just so they can be right. Like, see, we
Mm-hmm.
should have took Mac Jones. See, we should have took Justin Fields. So there's that narrative. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
the, oh, he didn't play a big sample size. He wasn't ready. This team ain't ready. This and that, which I can respect that. But at the same time, Kyle saw something in him which he felt like he can take us to the promised land. And I was talking to some people on Twitter. This 49er fan base just isn't patient, which I understand. It's been 27 years without a ring. So
Mm-hmm.
people are like, oh, we need to do so that. But you know what? You playing, them playing the musical chairs at quarterback situation hasn't worked out. I hate that. Well, we're a Super Bowl roster. Okay, we've been Super Bowl roster for 5 years and nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
So I don't care about that. Give me the quarterback who has the best upside. And I get it. Like if Purdy, he would have stayed healthy, took us in beat the Eagles, and whether he won or lost in the Super Bowl, I would have said, okay, it's his team until he shows us different. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that's not the case. And I hate the simple fact that people feel like, well, if Trey, because to me, it's for what have you done for me lately, league. So
Yeah.
Trey initially won the job last year. So the mindset of people who say, well, Brock Purdy can't have his job taken from him, but Trey can, is foolishness. Why can't Trey win his job back? Why can't Trey start week 1, ball out for 4 or 5 weeks, whether Brock Purdy comes back healthy or not? And then they sit there and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and keep Trey in because he's balling. Because if Trey goes, let's just say he goes 5-0, right?
Mhm.
And he's doing well. We're winning because of him. He's putting up 30 points a game. In 5 games, he has like 13 total touchdowns, only 2 turnovers. That wouldn't be right to say, well, Trey, now you're benched because Brock's back. So the fact that Trey can't win his job back, but Brock Purdy can, shows the foolishness of this fan base as well. I don't like that either. And then it just goes back to the racism stuff where you got people who just feel like, he's black and a black man can't take us to the promised land. A black person can't lead a team, which is crazy because the last Super Bowl had 2 black quarterbacks in it, and Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. So, it's a bunch of stuff that's going on
Patrick
with that.
Mahomes is half white.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so is Trey's, which is funny.
And he's a goody two shoes.
But so it just sucks that it has come to this. I can't, I know racism's been in the NFL for a long time, but I'm just ready. I'm sick of this quarterback carousel. Like whoever goes out there, whether it's Sam Darnold, I don't care who it is. Like even Mike said that he thinks that Sam Darnold has the ability to be better than Brock Purdy, which isn't a crazy take because if you look at Sam Darnold, he has the physical tools, but can he change it mentally?
And can he learn this playbook?
That's what I'm saying. It's the mental aspect of it. Like, he has the arm strength, he has the mobility. He is a great thrower of the football. I'll give it to him. But the simple fact of, does he have the mindset to be, to learn the playbook, to not see ghosts? I mean, 90 possible turnovers in 55 games is wild. He has a total of 34 fumbles, and not all of them were lost, but 34 fumbles for a quarterback is crazy. He can't hold onto the ball. So yeah, it's crazy to me. I'm praying for Trey Lance, and and we can have our preference without hating the others. I prefer Trey Lance as a 49ers quarterback. That's who I want to see quarterback. Because initially, I think he has the best tools and the IQ to take us where we need to be. I think Brock Purdy's good. I'm not taking nothing from him. He's he's limited. Where everybody, I don't want the Jimmy G treatment. Oh, he came in 1-5-0, and then all of a sudden, after 4 years of his contract, he's gone. I don't want that situation. I don't want them to jump the gun and think that that's it. Like if you thought Trey Lance was the best, Kyle said he's looked the best he's ever been. I think Trey Lance is hungry this year. I think he looked at everything. He's looking at, I've been hurt. This fan base, and I don't care what people say. I know a lot of athletes say I don't listen to the noise. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You might not take any, like, what's the word for it? Like you might not go out there and say it's bothering you or saying like whatever, but you still hear it, and you're still going to be like, okay, like this fan base, they don't want me. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I told Mariah, I think it was a kind of a blessing in disguise because now Trey has set behind 2 quarterbacks, and Jimmy and in Brock, to see what needs to be done in this offense. I saw what Jimmy did. I saw what Brock did. I see what Kyle likes. This is what I'm going to work on. The job's going to be his week 1, and I don't think he ever gives it back.
Yeah, the fact is Lance is healthy. By week 1, it's his job, right? That's bottom line. So if Trey's healthy, it's his job. There's no if it's his job to lose. None of that. He's playing. There's no like, oh well, he has the hot hand, then bring in Purdy. Like you don't take out Trey unless, God forbid, there's an injury. Like Purdy comes back healthy. Oh, okay. Then he comes back. Then he's a backup, period. Mm-hmm. You don't take out Trey because Brock Purdy is healthy. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree. You don't, and you don't, it's like you drafted him. He had injuries, sure, but you have to play Trey, and you can't call someone a bust after 4 starts. I mean, this fan base sometimes, some people just drive me insane. Like, I thought it was you give someone 3-4 years
Thank
before you
you.
call them a bust,
Mhm.
you know, not 4 fucking starts, right? Like, let Trey play, give Lance a chance, you know, the whole hashtag thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't understand where this is coming from. And yeah, you know, the whole like now, you know what's funny is like a couple of years ago they were like, you know, bring Wentz, bring Darnold, bring so and so. Like, I heard all these names before. Okay, we got Darnold now. Like, are you gonna slip him into the quarterback position, like, you know, ahead because he's doing well in training camp? Because that's just fucked up, you know. It's Trey's job. It's Trey's team. Period. Point
Yeah,
blank.
and you know what you too. What else bothers me as well is like 90% of this fan base. I've always been pretty open about like when I look at stuff, I look at stuff with context. Like, okay, you bring in Sam Darnold. Yeah, he has the physical tools, but what up until this point makes you believe that he can be a franchise quarterback?
Right.
And then so it's like he's played 55 games and he hasn't been good. Can he turn it around? Sure. Look at the Geno Smiths, stuff like that. People can turn it around. He can turn around. Trey, after 3 complete games, not 4 starts, but 3 complete games, oh, he's done. He's a bust. There's no way he can be good. So he can't be good after 3 starts and can't improve. But Sam Darnold can. That's where the racism comes in at for me. Like, why can't Trey be good in this offense when you've only seen him for 3 complete starts and not even consecutive at that?
Yeah.
3 complete starts haven't been consecutive. It was like a week 9 in Arizona, week 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been all over the place, and all of a sudden he's done. But Trey Lance can't, but Sam Darnold can.
It's
That's
always
racist.
well, give Sam Darnold a chance with these coaching staff and all these weapons, these players. It's like, well, why shouldn't Trey Lance be afforded that same thing then? Why
Right.
can't Trey Lance have that same,
Right.
chance with this coaching staff, all these players? He hasn't got to play with CMC.
Christian
He hasn't got to play with
McCaffrey,
freaking
exactly.
Kittle, like
Right.
he hasn't even got to play with fucking Kittle because Kittle's always hurt when he fucking plays.
Yep.
It's like, like
Yep.
Yeah, and
ridiculous.
Mariah,
They're like,
Mariah,
Jimmy
what do we
G's
always say?
back. He's cooking. Like,
Yeah.
he had, and admittedly, he had his best throwing game in fucking Mexico, right? So I'll give him that.
Mhm.
Hey, SG Sports Talk.
hey,
Like, seriously. Yes, he did, but he also had CMC,
Yeah.
So you give all that to Trey, and you got yourself a great quarterback.
Yeah. And we all said this, and there's people who don't agree with Mariah and I, but I'm sorry. I'm going to trust my own eyes. When Trey got hurt against that Seattle game, and he was looking good.
I was there.
Yeah, that Seattle game. Kyle said that, we've
So
been
sad.
calling the same game. We've been calling the same game plan with Trey than we have with Jimmy G. No, you
Hey,
haven't.
John.
The play calling was totally different. I'm sorry. Like, I can't sit there and agree with you when saying that the play calling was the same for Purdy, Jimmy, and Trey, because it's not.
No, I
So
agree with you.
yeah, it's like you can't. So, like I'm saying, and I've said this before, sound like a broken record, but here's the thing: is
Wait,
Trey
49
what he needs to be? We don't know. All I'm gonna say is this: to really find out what Trey truly is as a quarterback, you have to let him throw from the pocket. Letting him run 10
Yes.
to 15 times these QB powers and all that stuff, you're not going to see what he is as a quarterback. You need to see what he does from the pocket, which when Kyle drafted him, he said that he had the most snaps under center and he ran from a pro style offense. So use him as a quarterback from the pocket and let him throw, because the game he had Kittle where he started, he won that football game.
Do you remember the Texans game, the last game of the season 2 years ago?
Yeah, before we had to play the Rams for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at that game, and remember Trey had a very rough first half.
Yes.
And then at halftime, we were like, because I was sitting with actually one of the guys from Twitter. He invited me and my son, and we had really good seats. And I was like, man, this, that, and some of the guys behind us were like, Shanahan's not calling the right plays. Why can't he call plays he calls for Jimmy? And I go, you know what? You're right. All of a sudden, second half, and Trey's balling, right? And sure enough, he's calling similar plays that he called for Jimmy. So I thought, you know what, there you could just tell the difference, in the play calling, and that just made all the difference,
Yeah.
So, but then it was different when Trey was the starter, So just things need to change when Trey starts, this coming up season.
Yep. So a little quick update on Brock, and then we'll get into a little bit of Steve Wilkes and the rookies, and then we'll get on out of here.
Yeah.
So just the update on Brock. Shanahan said that Brock pretty much is doing everything that the other quarterbacks are doing, that Trey and Sam are doing, except, obviously not with a football. He's pretty much just doing it with a towel right now. Yeah. So he said he does like all the violent motions, like throwing it, but, he does it with a towel. So he said that the good thing about it is that he's able to learn, everything in the classroom and from a mental side. And whereas last year he said, he didn't even get to camp like till a month after this time, so he said he didn't get to learn all this stuff that he got, that he's learning right now. He said, so he's expecting him to be, he said, put his exact words. I think he's going to be a hell of a lot better, or Shanahan's words. So we'll see. He said he's expecting him to be ready to go at training camp now. So, yeah, we'll see what that means. But yeah,
for Brock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that means he's ready to go and compete. If he's, who knows what ready to go is. Ready to go 100% cleared, is ready to go. Who freaking knows at this point?
Ready to start throwing a real football. It could be ready to start throwing a real football, because if he's throwing a towel right now, it's going to be upgraded to a tennis ball. Then it's going to be a softball, then a Nerf ball. Like, you have to get that strength, because throwing that football, full strength is going to be tough for him. And we've said this ain't baseball where the recovery time is smaller, because you're just on the pitcher's mound throwing, and you don't have to worry about contact. You know what I mean? For a football player, for a quarterback, you got to be throwing the foot. We got to throw the football. You have to be in game shape. You have to be able to go back and hit he probably hasn't been able to bench press, obviously, since he's had this. Yeah. He has to get stronger as well. So I just don't see him being, like I said, ready. He could be ready to start throwing the football come training camp, but not ready to compete to start the season. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I guess so. It's pretty much a wait and see situation, because I mean, we've heard anywhere from he's going to be ready from this date to this fucking date and anything in between. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're Rod, my pretty much partner in Sports Laugh and Chill show, and co-host. He was on TED Talks Ball, on his show, and I was even saying to her, which show was, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. He was on we were on the Philly show, the Regal Eagle, shout out to Three's Company, and we were talking about what was going to happen with the 49ers situation at quarterback, like the season, and how we're going to be like during the schedule, and what was going to happen, wins and losses. And I go, well, that all depends on who's going to be quarterback. And he goes, Rod said the same thing. And I'm like, we're one and the same. Like, you never know, like, what's Kyle gonna do, or like, who's gonna start week 1. I mean, we don't know what the 49ers are gonna do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
we know what we want. We know what majority of the fan base wants. I think it's Trey. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we know what a lot of us want.
Yeah.
Yep.
Steve-O, he must be a dumb genius. I mean, I've gotten on Shanahan's past a lot in previous podcasts. You guys, I'm sure, listened that I questioned Shanahan's geniusness. Like, is he elite? And of course he's, super duper smart, and he's, one of the elite play callers like in the game. Still waiting on that, Lombardi. Now he has all the weapons, right? I mean, Jimmy G wasn't the quarterback that we wanted. So what's Guthrie's company just got?
Jack Tripper.
Yeah. The Regal Beagle.
Yeah.
Come
Love that
on
show.
our door. I know, it's one of the
Love that
funniest
show.
comedies ever.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, Shanahan, keep doing what you're doing, but God damn it, don't abandon the run game in the fourth quarter. Use your weapons. Throw to Ayuk and Debo in the fourth quarter. What's up with that? Anyways.
Yeah.
That's all I got now. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. So Steve Wilkes talked to the media for the first time since being DC. He spoke, about some players. Something I want to touch on before I get into that is they kind of asked him, once he was leaving Carolina, what he was looking for in his next spot. And then they also asked him, and probably since we've lost DC's like so fast, they asked him, are you planning, when you took this job or were, interviewing or whatever, did they ask you, like, are you going to be here for longer than a year? Or, are you going to plan on taking a head coaching job right away, or whatnot? So he had said, let me find it so I can give you the exact, so I'm not just making up shit.
I love it.
Get them verbatim, huh?
Yeah.
That's like, she's like me too. I'm like, let me find the quote. Like,
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Oh, go ahead, Maria.
So he said he wanted to surround him. That the key is to surround himself with good people. He wanted to find an organization that was committed, a head coach and a GM that were aligned and on the same page. And that when San Francisco came calling, it was his perfect fit. He said that for the future, he likes to be where his feet are, and that from his very first job that he had, in football, that's how he's been. He don't think about, oh, this job could get me, this in the future, or, this job could lead to this or to that. He says that once he starts a job, that's, he likes to think about what he's doing there. That's what his focus is on. So he says that, his focus is on this defense, getting this defense to number one, keeping it there, and obviously winning a Super Bowl with the 49ers. So, so I thought that was great. Obviously he's not going to say, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to go looking for a head coaching job next season. And obviously we're not expecting that he's going to turn down head coaching jobs either.
hey,
But
like, peace.
yeah, hopefully we can keep him for, longer than a year or two. But again, that's another, we'll have to wait and see situation. But yeah, let's go through real quick, just a couple of things, and then we'll talk about him. So quickly, he had talked about Kinlaw. He said that Kinlaw has been tremendous since he's been there. He hasn't missed a day. Kinlaw has been there at the facility every single day. He said that Drake Jackson as well has been there every single day. Drake Jackson has gained a lot of weight. They asked him what they had seen when he watched Drake Jackson's film, and he said inconsistency. He said, but he's seen talent and skill set. He said that he's seen that he needed to get stronger, and that he's expecting him to take a good second year leap. So, from the things that he was talking about, and, when he was talking about him, and he said that when he said that Drake's been there every day, he said that he's been in there working with Chris a lot. So I'm expecting, that Drake's, going to be having a significant role. He also touched on Jair Brown. He said, that the organization were all on the same page with him. Obviously, you know, that's why they moved up to get him. He said the tape speaks for itself. But when the players came in for their 30 visits, he said that there was just a connection with him. He said that they, you know, got to know the players, and he said that that he just felt a connection with him. He said, you know, he had just he's mature, the dedication he has to the game, and he sees him as a longtime future piece for the 49ers. So
good.
Yeah, I thought that was great. He said that Kyle had him watch the past years of the defense, you know, to see all, you know, every season of the defense prior to him getting there. So he said that, you know, something that stood out was the work ethic. There's a standard that's been set with the 49ers, and Bosa is the leader of that. He said that obviously the defense starts with the defensive line, and that's not going to change. There's going to be more like man, but there still will be zone as well. He likes to run both, but that he'll change it based on the opponent. So, which I like, you know, don't just run straight man or straight zone. You know, if you see it's a weakness, you know, something's a weakness for the opponent, switch it up, you know, like, so I definitely like that. He also said that he's going to be more aggressive. He said we have way too much talent at the linebacker spot to just be leaving them there doing what they're doing. He said that he wants to obviously be having them blitz more. He said that they're way too fast and way too talented. So he says, yeah, that he's going to take advantage of that. Let's see, what else did he say? I think that's pretty much. Oh, they had asked him about Miles Hartfield and Oliver, about those two players joining, and he said Miles Hartfield. He said it's important to have someone that knows your system, or in this case, philosophy. Somebody, an extension of you on the field, in the classroom, and he said all that, you know, that he can be teaching the guys, you know, now, like, because he's well aware, you know, of what Wilkes likes to do. So, you know, he can be out there teaching the guys in the classroom, on the field. And then at the end, he goes, and he's a good football player. So it seems like this is more, you know, Wilkes guy to be, you know, doing the behind the scenes teaching stuff, you know, more than actual starting football player for us, you know. And then with Oliver, he had said that, you know, obviously with him being in the same division, it's somebody that he played against. And he said that once they found out Jimmy Ward was no longer an option that they'd be able to keep, he said that they went out and found the best nickel on the market, and they got him. So he said that he's long, he's physical, he can tackle, he can cover, and he's a good blitzer. So he fits what the 49ers are going to be doing perfectly. So I know a lot of us were expecting maybe Womack was going to be the starting nickel, but it seems like that might be Oliver's spot to lose there. So that's definitely going to be a good competition in that spot. So yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps up what Wilkes has to say. I thought he's a great speaker. I wish they could have just kept him up there asking him questions, you know, since it's the first time we got to hear from him, you know, like there was so much we could have like learned, you know. Yeah. Any thoughts from any of that?
No, I'm excited about Jair. Is that how you say it? Brown?
Jair Brown, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually followed him right away and put auto notifications on for him because he was like really excited to join the Niners. So I was like, you know, he was like,
I can't wait for him and Huff together, man. Like that's really such a great safety duo.
Yeah. But I'm super excited. I can't wait to start the 49ers podcast. I'm still going to do NBA because that's what we expanded. Like I first started doing with the just Warriors, you know, when we first started out, just Niners and Warriors, but then we expanded to all teams. So especially when the Niners lost in the NFC Championship.
Mhm.
We have a Rams and Saints fans on our podcast, so on the panel. So we just do it all now, So
Yeah.
we had to do overreaction to the Super Bowls, like well, Eagles lost, So but yeah, excited to do more Niners now, with everything going on. But I love it. I'm excited, and gotta get you guys back on. I know we
Yeah.
had you guys on a while back,
Yeah.
So now that I have my own channel, and I think last time it was Gina Reppin or repping with Gina G or some shit like that. Bring you guys back on too. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
You had us on with those Vikings fans at one time.
Yeah, that was
Rick
fun.
and-
They were good.
Yeah.
It was a good show. You want to
They
say
were
something
good.
quick,
Yeah,
Mariah?
that actually got a shit ton of views.
Yeah, that was a good show. You want to say
Yeah.
something quick, Mariah?
Yeah, real quick before you go, I forgot quick things that I had got out of mini camp were that Jair Brown and the cornerback Luther Jr. that they're both coming into their built like pros, like third year bodies, like they're in shape, they're ready to go.
Awesome.
Also that tight end Braden Willis, great route runner. Every
Good.
pass that was thrown his way, he caught. Ronnie Bell had 2 circus catches. They said he has no fear. He went up, got the ball. They put it that he was the opposite of what Dante Pettis looked like in camp.
Yes, I heard that. That dude still brings me nightmares.
Yeah. The undrafted free agent running back LeBourne, that he has thick tree trunk legs. So I don't know, something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
I guess we had picked up wide receiver. I want to say his name's Pearson, maybe. I guess he had led the XFL.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. So definitely I need to keep an eye on him. I had put it on the notes, but yeah, they had said to check him out because he's there at rookie minicamp. They also said that D Winters, for as much, I know we had hyped him up when he was drafted, but he showed up out of shape. Yeah, not looking great. So, I mean, he has a couple months, before the next, camp. So hopefully, he gets that fixed. Also, undrafted free agent guard Joey Fisher. I know a lot of people were high on him. He couldn't even finish the first practice. It was 74 degrees.
74 degrees, and he couldn't handle the heat.
He couldn't handle the heat. He had to stop halfway through the practice and had a wet towel that he kept putting on his head. So, I mean, that's not a good sign if you can't even get through the first day of practice. Like, it's just going to get hotter and tougher as the time goes, So that's definitely something to monitor as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tio.
Yeah, I know. Being out in the Bay Area, Gina, what does it get like in July and August? Like in the 90s sometimes?
What month?
July and August.
It varies. It could be like it could be like 65.
Oh, really? Sometimes. Okay.
Dang.
I mean, it could be, it could be whatever.
It just
honestly varies.
Fluctuates. Like it fluctuates a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny you said that about D Winters, Mariah, because I've seen some edits of him in 49ers video, and he does have a belly on him. Like he has like a little pudge down there. But, being out there and running around and going through OTAs and minicamp, he'll lose that in no time. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure Wilkes and what's the linebackers coach? Johnny, whatever his name is probably on him like, dude, you need to lose that gut and get in better shape. So Johnny Holland, that's a linebackers coach's
I'm
name.
Sure
yeah.
Fred will get him.
Fred's like, dude, like come on, bro. Yeah.
Green law.
Santa Clara. I live in San Francisco. Well, right now I'm in South City. But San Francisco is a whole different thing. Like in the Mission, it could get 80. All right. So it depends where in the Bay you are.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So like today it's 78 in South City, South San Francisco. So it could drop down to like 60, 65. Like, honestly, yesterday it was pretty cold.
Okay. That makes
It just
sense.
depends. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
East Bay 90s, South Bay 80s, the city 70. Really depends
Depends
where
on where
you're
you're
at.
at. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So going off of what
I'm
Mariah
gonna
was saying
post my
about Steve
show link.
Wilkes. Oh yeah. Well, Steve Wilkes and all that. I saw Chrissy's comments, and I want to say I have a soft spot for him, but I am rooting for Javon Kinlaw. I want
Yeah,
him to do well, and it's just to me it's crazy. But I'm gonna say this: no matter how well he does this year, I don't care if he goes and has 10 sacks. I'm probably not paying him
No.
because the simple fact is, he's probably motivated one because they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. He's been hurt his entire time where he can't even get on airplanes without his knee swelling up. And I always get kind of doubtful when I see players perform in their contract year. You know what I'm saying? It's a contract year for him. So he's probably going to go out and ball, but that's just going to show. But like, if he can go out there and play 16, 17 weeks, that's going to be like, it'll make you question things. Like, where was this
Yeah.
the last few years? Like, why
Yeah.
now?
You haven't
Why
done
now?
shit except
Yeah.
for your contract year.
Yeah,
right.
like why now can you play and
Mhm.
finish a full season, play more than 10, 12 weeks? Why is it now that you're good, and now all of a sudden because in the contract here you're out there balling? That worries me. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what happens to him, like I said, I hope I root for him. Unless they can try them to like a team friendly deal, I'm okay with that. But don't go out there and give him this Eric Armstead type contract because he went out there and balled for one
Right.
season. I'm not I'm not feeling that. But
Mhm.
Wilkes, I'm excited about him. Like we've been blessed these last few years with defensive coordinators. Sala, D'Amico Ryans, now we got Steve Wilkes. So what excites me about him is, I feel like our secondary has always been our weakest link on defense. D line was always strong, linebackers were always strong, secondary was always in question. Now you bring
Yeah.
in the guy who that's secondary is like his baby. He's known for developing secondary players. So it's going to be interesting to see. And what I like about him too, because I feel like sometimes with when you got D coordinators, sometimes like let's just say somebody has a bad season, and I'm talking like for Ambry Thomas, right? If it
Yeah.
was D'Amico Ryan, he's gonna have a kind of a bad taste in his mouth because he saw what he can do. Fresh D coordinators come in with his eyes fresh. Let me see what these guys can do with my own eyes, see what they can do. Because somebody said I had posted something on Twitter to say, "Hey, with Steve Wilkes, do you think he can make the best out of Ambry Thomas?" It was kind of hit and miss. So I think he's gone. I think he can't do this. But Steve Wilkes is bringing in a system, doing a lot of man to man, which Ambry Thomas is strong in. So if he can, I feel like you got Charvarius Ward, where you say, okay, he's definitely starting at corner,
Yeah.
okay, because he's the best on the team. Maybe Demo, but I feel like other than your starter positions, everything should always be open every year because people can get better. So people are saying like, oh, Isaiah Oliver probably has it in the bag, like Mariah said. Let's don't think so, because I know Steve Wilkes is high on him because he saw him play up close and personal, but Samuel Womack
That's why
has
I
every
said
right
it's
to
his
take the
job to
job.
lose.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
competition. I didn't say it's
yeah.
his job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like Mariah
Right.
said, like you can like it's not just handed to him. It's like, here, you might be presumed the starter, but I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna see what everybody else can do because we have all these other guys too. Like you said, the Daryl Luters, he's a rookie, but just don't count him out just because he's a rookie. Give him a fair shot to go in there and compete for that. Like who knows? He might go in there and win outside corner and beat Demo. You don't know that. So give everybody a fair shot. And I think with Steve Wilkes, we got Steve Wilkes, we got Johnny Holland, and we got Chris Kocurek, which arguably top 3 to 5. I'm just I say well, Chris Kocurek, he's the best on the D line. But if you want to say he's top 3, whatever your opinion is, but if you can look at all position groups, we got top 3 to 5 at every position group as far as coaching, and I love that. So I feel like when Steve Wilkes, when he fixes that secondary and he puts his spin on it and whatever he likes to do, a little bit more man to man stuff like that with this D line, it's gonna be awesome. Drake Jackson, everybody, when me and Mariah were doing our mock drafts, me and Mariah always took um in our first 3 picks, it was either like a tight end, we took a tight end, we took a safety, and we either took O-line or whatever the case may be. We never took edge because me and Mariah in the same mindset of like, I think Drake Jackson has it to be him. He's going into his second year, kind of hit a rookie wall, but I feel like, edge is not as important as some people are thinking it is, because we got Farrell, we got Drake Jackson's second year, and then it showed that they didn't even draft the edge till round 5, late in the round 5. So they have high hopes for Drake Jackson. I think he's gonna go in there and do his thing. Like they said, he's gotten stronger, he's gotten faster. He's coming into a second. He has a full off season to train. He's been there every single day. He wants to be better. You can argue he had late first to early second round value, and we got a steal with him. So I'm looking forward to see what Chris Cassera does with him, Robert Bill, all these guys that we brought in. And yeah, I think we're gonna see a resemblance, not equal, a resemblance of what we had in 2019 when we had D Ford, DeForest Buckner, Bosa, and Armstead. Because Hargrave is he's a beast. He's top 5. Go ahead, Gina.
I'm sorry, I have to get going.
Let's go.
But thanks you guys so much. I appreciate you, and don't forget to subscribe if anybody hasn't subscribed yet to our podcast with Rod and Dan the Man and the Wise Soul, who also has a channel, Sneakers and Sports, Jordan Watkins, and Book and Treese. So yeah, subscribe. The link's in the chat, and I appreciate. Rod also does his own graphics; they're original. So look out for that too. But anyway, thanks you guys so much. I appreciate all of you guys in the chat. Thanks for having me. I love you guys.
Love you.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
See you later. But yeah, it's gonna be. I think this defense, like I said, I think it might take some time. Maybe week 1, week 2, we see a little bit of kinks. But I feel like ultimately he's gonna have us in the top 3 as far as in the NFL in defense.
Yeah. Yep. Good stuff. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, I think I'm hearing like you reported. I'm hearing some great things out of this rookie mini camp. I'm a huge fan of Ronnie Bell because I'm a Wolverines fan. Saw him play for the last few years in the Duke and ball. Like he has this. He's not. What's funnier, he's more quicker than fast. But he can get open, he can beat you deep. Great route runner, round 7 pick. I think he can be a steal. And I know when they reported it, like like Grant and a couple others were like, man, he really looks the part. So yeah, this wide receiver battle is going to be interesting. I think other than quarterback, obviously, I think wide receiver, probably right tackle and corner are going to be the biggest battles I see in training camp, OTAs and all that stuff. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, you talk about the battles. I haven't watched the whole interview yet. I'm gonna watch it after this. But Brad from DSF Niners did a interview with Feliciano, and the caption of it says that Feliciano says he came here to start and to win a Super Bowl. So yeah, and I don't know. People are thinking that he came to just be a backup or some backup swing tackle or whatever the hell. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah. Why would you do that? I mean, you and I both said this on a couple of shows. We're like, he started for a good Giants team who made the playoffs. 17 games. Why would you start 17 games effectively and be like, yeah, I'll take a backup role? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, especially if you're a competitor. That doesn't make any sense. So I truly believe he came, like you said, he came to start. There's no way I'm starting 17 games and saying, all right, Kyle, I'll go play swing tackle and be a backup for you. There is no way. So yeah.
Especially when it was still that early in the off season. Like I could see, okay, you're waiting till season starting and all the spots were filled. Okay, you got to take what's left, but there's still jobs available and you're just taking this spot. Like, no, you were taking it because there's a spot, there's a competition, there's an option for you to compete. So for you to win that spot, So we'll definitely see what happens there.
That's crazy talk. Yeah, cool. Well, all right, fam. I see you guys in the chat. I appreciate you sticking with us, for about an hour and a half. I love you guys. You guys always show so great support. Hit that like button for us. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to be back. Yeah. A lot of giveaways got mailed out. Most that are left are pretty much like the moderators that have a big chunk of stuff Yours didn't get mailed out yet, but pretty much everybody else's did. And I'll finish the rest in the next couple days, but I pretty much got caught up on everything. So, yeah, we'll be back sometime this week. We'll get back to a more normal schedule. And yeah, we'll see what's going on this week. Everybody have a great week, great rest of your weekends. Stay safe out there because people are crazy. Shit's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah. Shit, this week, did you see here in Vegas real quick? I forget the Wednesday or Thursday, like most of Vegas didn't even send their kids to school because there was threats of school shootings and that it was going to be the worst school shooting in history. And so yeah, a lot of kids didn't even go to school here in Vegas because that shit was going around to all the schools and like it's fucking crazy out there.
Yeah. JDLR, that's a great reminder, man. Happy Mother's Day to all the females on here. You know, you guys, you know, I don't know you personally, but from what I do know, you guys, you know, are great people. You do an amazing job. So happy Mother's Day. I know Peachy's a mom, Miss Deb, you know, so happy Mother's Day to you guys.
Thank you, JDLR. And yes, happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers out there. Appreciate it. And yeah. All you guys have a great Mother's Day. Make sure you fellas take care of your mothers. Take care of the ladies tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Much love. Smile, everybody. Appreciate y'all. We're out of here.